Let's read one of my favorite parables in the Bible. Let's read Mark 12, verses 1 through 12. He began to speak in them in parables. A man planted a vineyard, put a fence around it, dug out a pit for a winepress, and built a watchtower. Then he leased it to tenant farmers and went away. At harvest time he sent a servant to the farmers to collect some of the fruit of the vineyard from them. But they took him, beat him, and sent him away empty-handed. Again he sent another servant to them, and they hit him on the head and treated him shamefully. Then he sent another, and they killed that one. He also sent many others. Some they beat, the others they killed. He still had one to send, a beloved son. Finally he sent him to them, saying, "They will respect my son." But those tenant farmers said to one another, "This is the heir. Come, let's kill him, and the inheritance will be ours." So they seized him, killed him, and threw him out of the vineyard. What then will the owner of the vineyard do? He will come and kill the farmers and give the vineyard to others. Haven't you read this scripture? The stone that the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. This came about from the Lord and is wonderful in our eyes. They were looking for a way to arrest him, but feared the crowd because they knew he had spoken this parable against them, and they left him and went away. Obviously, this parable is talking about how the Israel religious leaders at the time were persecuting the prophets. And at the end of the parable, the son represented Jesus. The tenant farmers, they represented the religious leaders. And God, the man, he was the one who planted the vineyard. So it says here, those listening to Jesus would have been familiar with these details. Isaiah the prophet told a similar story about a vineyard that represented Israel. Instead of producing good grapes, it yielded worthless ones. So the Lord threatened to destroy it. In Jesus' parable, he added an important character, the vineyard owner's son. And that's representing Jesus himself. Here it says this is a vivid description of how the leaders of Israel had abused God's prophets in the past. Though he sent them to warn his people to keep his covenant with them by pursuing righteousness, they refused. They owed God fruit, their obedience, but they scornfully mistreated and killed God's prophets, demonstrating their scorn for God himself. They persecuted the prophets, and eventually they persecuted and killed the Son of God. I love this parable just because it pretty much summarizes the pride of man. You know, us people, we're prideful. It's so important for us to let go of our pride so we can fully accept God into our hearts. And this parable perfectly demonstrates that. So let go of your pride, be humble, let God in your heart, pursue God. God bless.